Okay, so we're going to be starting in your regular notebooks. Verb T's will come later. Okay. Okay. Try that one. Das Verkehrsmittel. Good. Means means of transportation or modes of transportation. I don't like hyphenating right at the end there. Okay. So Mittel is the means. That's the word that means means. And Verkehr is the word for transport. Okay. So this chapter deals a lot with travel. So this is going to be a travel based. Okay. So means of transportation. Here we go. The plural for das Verkehrsmittel is just die, but it's almost exclusively just Verkehrsmittel left alone. Okay. Try that one. Das Flugzeug. Anybody know what that means? Sam?
Airplane.
Airplane, sehr gut. Literally, flight tool. The Germans and their logic. What do you think a Spielzeug is? It's a playing tool. What would we call that? What do you play with? A toy. Yeah, Spielzeug is a toy. So, a lot of those kinds of things. Okay. So they don't have a different abbreviation like we have airplane and we just call it plane. You can't shorten that up. If you shorten it up to Flug, then it just means flight. Okay, so Flug is a word and Zeug is a word, but you can't separate them out for that purpose. Okay, try that one. Der Zug. What do you think? Train, richtig. A lot of people get that one confused with Zeug, and they'll actually say Flugzeug, which means flight train. And while that kind of makes sense, if you think about it, yeah, it doesn't work. So you have to actually separate them out. Okay? So Flugzeug and Zug. Umlauts on the U when it's plural. Sometimes it's also called die Bahn. That is not a word that you'll be tested on, but it does come up frequently. Even the German train system is called Deutsche Bahn. German train, essentially. Deutsche Bahn. Yeah, it's very creative. Huh? Very, sehr kreativ. Okay, try that one. Das Motorrad. What do you think? Motorcycle. Yeah. Okay. Try that one. Das Boot. What is it? Boat, yeah. It's not das Boot, okay? So let's be clear about that. So it's just boat. It's like a Minnesotan saying it. Das Boot. Out in the boat in the boat.
That is how we Minnesotans speak.
At times it is. Ready? There we go. Alright, next one. The U and the B are both capitalized. Okay, try that one. Die U-Bahn. Okay, anybody know what that one is? Unter. Subway. And no, you can't go to a restaurant called U-Bahn. They have Subway, And their $5 foot long does not sound the same. Okay? Because they don't use dollars or feet. So, it's still called subway. It's there. It's a thing. Okay? Alright. Try that one. Die Straßenbahn. Okay. What does it literally mean? Street train. So it is like a streetcar, but don't necessarily think, it could be, but don't think like San Francisco streetcar. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, so the trolley kind of thing. So it is literally a streetcar, but they are very often more along the lines of a light rail, but a lot of them still have the electrical things that go up top, and they use the electric current to drag them around and stuff. So. The Germans' mass transit system, well, Europe in general, but Germans in particular, their mass transit system just blows ours away. It's apples and onions. So when they come here, and we're all excited because we have the light rail. We have a light rail. It has like 2 trains, like 2 different routes. That's about it. That is entirely laughable to them. It's like, what do you mean you only have this one? Well, how do I get over here? If we have to take a bus. Well, when does the bus come? Yeah. Do any of you know how to ride the mass transit around here? Have you done it?
Yes.
Yeah?
It's fun.
Okay. Yeah, so for them it's a daily thing. How many times have you guys done it? Less than 5 times? So I'm not talking like airplanes and stuff. I'm talking like buses and whatnot.
Yeah.
10 to 20?
Well,
Wow.
I've been to like here, but I've been to like Washington D.C. where it's like everywhere. So.
Yeah, I mean here in Minnesota. Yeah, even D.C. is far closer to what they have, just still not as good. So, okay. Moving on. Next one. Oh, they also have, this one you don't need to know for the test, but they also have the S-Bahn. So that's also very similar to a light rail. Okay, so they'll have S-Bahn and U-Bahn. All right. Next one. Sky Mall. All right. Try that one. Das Schiff. And what do you suppose that one means? Ship. Mm-hmm. Wie sagt man car? Gut, das Auto. Okay. You can also call it der Wagen. You don't need to know that one, but for the test at any rate. But sometimes it's good to know for things like if you wanted to get a rental car, for example. The word for rental is Miet. And they don't say Mietauto, they say Mietwagen. So that's a rental car. Which sounds just cool anyway, because it's Mietwagen. Okay? Yeah, it sounds like meat wagon, but it's not at all. Okay. Alright. When you were talking about which form of transportation you're going to use, people often use the wrong preposition with it. So prepositions, remember, like the mit or the whatever. Okay? So to say that you are going by something, they actually say that you go with something. So you would say, for example, ich fahre mit. What does mit do to the next word? Dative. Good. Okay, so if it was I go by car, you'd say I drive with the car. So dem, and then your other word goes here. Good. So it could be ich fahre mit dem Zug. Or ich reise mit dem Boot. Or ich fahre mit der U-Bahn. Because the D words will change to der then. Okay? So just know that you'll be using mit, and then der, dem, or in some cases den if it's plural. Even if we don't use the word the. Okay? Okay. If you're going by foot, though, that one is different. Zu Fuß. Okay. So everybody try that one. Zu Fuß. So we'd say on foot or by foot. It means you're walking. Anybody know the verb to fly? Fliegen. We're not going to put fliegen in your verb T's because it's a nice normal verb. We'll put that on here. Regular. Okay. If you capitalize that, it means flies, like the things that buzz around and annoy you in the summer. Okay, so capitalization matters. Okay. Alright. If you're going to ask, where are you flying to? What would your first word be? Kind of. Wo something. Wohin. Sehr gut. Remember that difference? Wo is used when you're asking where something is located. Where it is, it's not going anywhere. If you're going someplace, then it's to where, then it's wohin. If you're coming from someplace, it's woher. Remember that? Vaguely? Okay. So the next one. So wohin, and then what goes second in your sentence? Fliegst, and then? Good. So technically we should be saying, to where are you flying? But that's not how we talk. So if you changed it to woher fliegst du, what are you asking then? Where are you flying from? Yeah, so you're coming in from someplace. So woher fliegst du? Different than wohin fliegst du. Okay? Alright, let's do a verb T. Here we go. So, your verb is abfahren. It separates. Okay. And it means to depart. Okay. It's usually used for ground transportation, which makes sense, because literally you're kind of like saying driving off. When are you driving off? Okay. So that's where the fahren comes into play. Okay. So it is irregular because fahren is irregular. So ones in blue are fine. The ones in red are irregular. Okay. So, blue. How would you conjugate it? Ich fahre ab. Wir fahren ab. We're doing the regular ones first. Yep. Ihr fahrt ab. Yep. Don't forget that ab at the end. Changes the meaning. And Sie fahren ab. Alright, now for the irregulars. Du fährst ab. And fährt ab. Good. Yeah. You can also add that up in front of fliegen and use it the same way. What do you think abfliegen means? To part by plane, yeah. So abfliegen, literally to fly off. Right? So abfahren you could sometimes use with a plane, but you can't use abfliegen with a train. You know what I mean? Okay, no matter how fast that train's going. Alright? Alright. So how would you ask, when does the train depart? When does the train depart? What's your first word? Wann? Fährt? Umlauts or no umlauts? Umlauts. Gut. Okay. When does the train depart? Der Zug? Ab. Good. So if somebody asked you that, you could look at the schedule. And you could say that. Try that. Hier steht's. Literally, here it stands. But they use stehen as a way to indicate where it's located. So it's like saying, here it is. So think of it as, it could also be thought of as, this is, it says it here, is another way to think of it. Okay. So we'll be talking a lot about how travel works in Germany and pictures and things like that. Yeah, Udo?
So, hier steht's can be used in this context, but say like you were looking for something and you found it, could you also use hier steht's?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it more specific than that?
Usually when you're talking about finding information, then you would say hier steht's. If you're talking about finding an object, you would say hier ist es or hier liegt es. So, but you could also use the hier steht's sound. Yeah, so it works. Okay, so we'll be talking about how to read train schedules and all that good stuff. So especially for those of you traveling with me, it'll be a very useful chapter for you. Okay, so this is an important word. Try that one. Die Abfahrt. What do you think that means? Something about depart. Make it a noun. That's the verb. Departure. Yeah. Because I'm way overthinking that one. Okay. Here's another verb. This one is also regular, so we won't conjugate it. Okay. Try that one. Ankommen. To arrive. It is. Yep. It'd be really funny if it wasn't, because it'd be a connect the dot L in the middle of the word.
Oh, I couldn't see that.
Yep. So Abfahrt and Abfahren, very, much related. Arrival and to arrive are not as much related, okay? Maybe they start the same three letters, so that helps. Okay, try that one. Die Ankunft. So that's arrival. Another verb that is also nice and regular. Try that one. Umsteigen. Okay, that one's regular. Means to transfer. Okay, so getting off of one train and going to another. Okay, but it's very specific. You were getting off of one and going to another. It's not just getting off. Okay. If you're just getting off, steigen means to climb. So that one literally means you're climbing around. Okay, makes sense. Aussteigen is obviously also regular because it's all based on the steigen. It's to climb out, literally. So, to deboard, or to get off. So get off the airplane, get off the train, or whatever. Okay. Oh, one other major thing that we talked about traveling by something. So mit dem Auto, mit dem Flugzeug, mit der U-Bahn, or whatever. One of the major things that people try to translate directly from English to German is I am flying on the plane, or something like that. Or I am on the plane. If you translate that directly, you literally are saying that you are on top of the plane. Okay, so with airplanes, you either say mit dem Flugzeug, or if you're trying to say that you are on the plane, you say that you are, logically, in the plane. Because that is, in fact, where you are. You know what I mean? So, be aware of that, yeah. Don't become a stunt person unless you mean to. Okay? Alright, so we've had umsteigen, aussteigen, and now we have einsteigen. That's another regular verb. That's to board or to get on, literally to climb into it. So you can use these for cars and things as well. So you can get out of the car. So that would be, ich steige aus dem Auto aus. Okay. Okay. The rest are verb T's, so let's get those back out. Got modal verbs. Lots of modal verbs today. We already went over a lot of these when you did conjugamos, but it's still something that people are stumbling a lot on, and they come up in this chapter quite a bit, so let's see. Okay, there we go. Can you give me an example of one of them? Möchten. You got it. What does möchten mean? Would like. Okay. Something special about how these conjugate. What's special? Good. Okay, so these two are the same. Okay, how do you conjugate it for ich? Möchte. So then you can go back down and fill in the SES as möchte. What about du? Wir? Ihr? Yeah, möchtet. TET ending on that one. And Sie. Okay, what's another one? Wollen. Whoa. Yeah, I heard a bunch of people say a bunch of them. So we'll go with wollen. What does wollen mean?
Want.
To want. Okay, it's not wolle. That actually means wool. Like the material, the fabric. Yep. Okay, so ich. Du. Yes, man. Ihr. Or, sorry, wir. Wollen. Ihr. Wollt. Und sehen Sie. Wollen. Okay, so können means can. Ich kann, du kannst, er, sie, es, man kann. Wir können, ihr könnt, und sie und sie können. Alright, what's another one? Mögen. Oh, I keep doing that. What does mögen mean? To like. Good. So mögen and möchten are related. Because mögen, if you change to past tense, is mochten, and you add umlauts to it, becomes the would-like, so then it becomes the möchten. Okay? Okay, so ich, what? Du? Sie, es, man? Wir? Ihr? Mögt? And sie and sie? Mögen. Alright, what's another one? Sollen, good. What does sollen mean? Should. Ich? Soll. Du? Sie, es, man? Wir? Ihr? Sollt. And sie and sie? Good. Okay. No, it's not werden. Müssen is one of them. Good. There we go. Müssen. What does müssen mean? Must. Or have to. Okay, so ich muss. No umlauts. Du? Sie, es, man? Wir? Müssen? Ihr? And sie and sie? Last one starts with the D. Huh? Dürfen. Good. And what does dürfen mean? May or be allowed to. Okay. Ich darf. Du darfst. Sie, es, man? Wir? Ihr? And sie and sie? You got it.